us move to the next topic. How do blood groups inherited? What is our next topic? How do blood groups inherited? In our day-to-day lives, when we fall sick, sometimes we go to the hospital. The first and foremost suggestion that is given by the doctor would be, please undergo blood test. And people used to have so many or different types of blood groups. All the different types of blood groups that humans have, if we broadly categorize, we can broadly categorize them into 4 major groups. What are they? Blood group A, blood group B, blood group O, and the last but not least, blood group AB. So these are the 4 different types of blood groups that normally human beings possess. With the help of genetics, if you know the blood groups of your both parents, you are able to tell the blood group of the next generation or of the offspring. So how is it possible? How genetics is helpful to know the blood groups? If you check, let me give an example. Here even the blood groups also a type of genes. I repeat, blood groups also genes. We get our parental blood groups through genes. For example, if you take blood group A, this A blood group genotype is IA and IA. IA and IA, always genes work in pairs, I told. IA is the genotype of blood group A. Genotype of blood group B is IB and IV. Universal blood grouping, no? So we have to write the genotypes as IB, IV. For blood group O, the genotype is IO, IO. Always the genes work in pairs. The genotype of blood group AB is IA, IB. So we know the genotypes of 4 different groups of blood groups. If we know the genotypes through sexual reproduction process, what type of blood group is going to be inherited in the upcoming generation through genetics, easily we can clarify. I will give an example here. A man having blood group A, married a woman having blood group O. Blood group O. What are the possible blood groups that we observe in the upcoming generation? This is the question asked by the board, what would be your answer? We are going to see now. So a man married a woman having blood group, a man with A blood group married a woman with O blood group. So their children will get what type of blood group in the upcoming generation? What type of blood group is going to be representing? We are going to see now. So what are the genotypes of blood group A, IA and IA? What are the blood groups of O? What are the genotypes of blood group O, IO and IO? So at the time of fertilization, these will divide as their gametes, IA and IA, IO and IO. So after the division of gametes, what would be the next step? Fertilization. So this is the male gamete fuses with IA, IO. IA, IO. And if it fuses with this gamete, IA, IO. So if you look at here, the offspring with genotype IA and IO will get blood group A. How can you tell, teacher? Here there is another gamete which represents O blood group, no? How can you say that the F1 generation will get A blood group? Like that you may ask a question. So among these four blood groups, A and B are codominant. A and B are what? Codominant. They both are dominant blood groups. Whereas O blood group is recessive blood group, which is always suppressed by the dominant blood group. Look at here, IA, IO. Both are there, but the children will get A blood group. Reason why? Because though there is a gamete which represents O blood group, though there is a gene which represents O blood group, it is suppressed by the dominant blood group called as A. That's why the upcoming young ones will get blood group A. Like this, through genetics process, we can easily know the blood group of their children. I'll give another example. Take another example. A person with B blood group married a woman with O blood group and their children got blood group O. Justify the statement. This is the question asked by the board. So, a person with B blood group, a man with B blood group, that means what are the genotypes of blood group B? IB, 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 IB. O blood group genotypes IO, IO. So at the time of fertilization or sexual reproduction, they divide as what? Gametes. IB, IB, and here they divide as IO, IO. So when they fuse together, what happens in the zygote? IB, IO, IB, IO. So I told already, B blood group is dominant, O blood group is recessive. Then the children should get B blood group, no? How is it possible? Their children got O blood group. Justify the statement. They have given this question. How can you justify? This is not correct. So what is the other possible way to show that their children got O blood group? That is IB-IO also treated as what? Blood group B, because here O gene is acting as a recessive gene which is suppressed by blood group B. So though there is a gene that represents O blood group, here the children will get B blood group. So we can write for a blood group B another genotype. What is it? IB-IO. So IB-IO also treated as blood group B. And here also IA-IO also treated as blood group A. So here in this case, what happens, you know? The man with blood group O, that means his genotype would be IB-IO. And a woman with O blood group in the sense IO-IO. At the time of fertilization, what happens? Gametes separates IB and IO, and the woman is having IO and IO. When they fertilize, when the gametes fertilize, what happens here? Male gametes with female gametes. IB, IO. And here IO. So IB-IO is treated as which blood group? Blood group B. IO treated as blood group O. So maybe the male parent is having in his blood what type of genotype? IB-IO. So because of the presence of IB-IO, the children are able to get a chance of getting O blood group. So you have to draw this genetical representation and you should explain that the father's genotype would be IB-IO and the mother's genotype is IO-IO. At the time of fertilization, when they fuse, there is a chance of getting blood group O with IO-IO genotype.